it's a nice summer afternoon in 2024 and you decide to watch a Tamil film that has worked well in theatres or in streaming. Chances are you may not have a lot of options. Tamil cinema has been having a drought of sorts in 2024 and so much is being spoken about it to the extent whenever a film opens up to a positive review or the trailer does well, the talk is immediately about whether it could revive Tamil cinema. But firstly, is that really a problem or is it just an exaggerated reaction? Take the number of films that have worked in the first few months of the last few years and compare it with 2024. It does paint quite a stark image. The big star films that released on Pongal, Captain Mir and Ayalan weren't as successful as we hoped for. And the same goes for Lal Salam, which had superstar Rajinikanth in an extended cameo. Aranmanai 4, Lover and Star have been received well by the audiences, while Blue Star, J Baby and the Hindi-Tamil bilingual Merry Christmas managed to draw some attention. And yet, none of them have managed to hit big. Things would have been drastically different had films like Kangua, Indian 2 or Thangalaan managed to bring the grand visions to the screens earlier this year. In fact, all of these films at some point of the time wanted to release the films earlier in this year, but they were delayed due to some issues with the post-production. But is there any other reason as to why these big budget star vehicles avoided locking a release date early on in this year? Producer Kalipuli Danu doesn't think so. In fact, he says even if we have a set plan, things will not necessarily always go with as per the plan. There might be delays in the CGI or there might be some unknown factor causing delays in the shooting. Sometimes, productions might have to wait for the dates of a supporting actor who is playing an important role. We can never blame productions for these delays, says Tanu. Producer Telapan believes that the real reason behind the delays may be issues with selling satellite and streaming rights. This is because there are only a handful of players in satellite and streaming and these players are together setting a price for the film, which is the reason behind these delays, says Telapan. Now last year, we did expect performances of films like Dada, Porthuril or Good Night might usher in more such small budget attempts from young filmmakers. Unfortunately, that has not happened in 2024. Both Telapan and Danu unanimously state that if the content is good, it would work with the audiences. Things might change for the rest of the year, but with so many star films lined up for the second half of the year, finding a release window might be a bit of a task. Actor Manikandan's Good Night was one of the best films of 2023, and this year he had Lover, one of the few films that have worked well in the first half of the year. Manikandan says that it has always been a battle for smaller films to find a release window. I'm glad that at least now there's a shift in how people look at smaller films. There's belief and hope that smaller films can also work in the theatres, says Manikandan. On whether such films would end up working well in the second half of the year, Manikandan says, getting a theatre and bringing the film for release takes a lot of effort. And then, even if a film finds a release window, a lot of factors determine if the audiences would choose to watch the film in theatres. As you might have heard, 2024 has been the year of Malayalam cinema across India, chiefly thanks to the onslaught of films like Aadu Jeevitham, Avesham, Brahmayugam, Premalu and the blockbuster Manjuvel Boys. In fact, Manjuvel Boys crossed more than 200 crores at the global box office and Tamil Nadu has been the second biggest contributor to this. The drought of good star vehicles in Tamil, the type of content and the growing fan following for Malayalam cinema in Tamil Nadu have all contributed to this. But has this really affected the run of Tamil films in Tamil Nadu? Kalipuli Danu doesn't think so. Throughout the world, Malayalam films have been doing really well and good word of mouth certainly helps these films. But we can't say for sure that a good Malayalam film would affect the run of a Tamil film. If the Tamil film has good content, the audiences would watch both the Tamil film as well as the Malayalam film, says Tanu. Telapan supports this argument by stating how the run of films like Premam, Bahubali or KGF did not stop good films from tasting success. Yes, audiences are still reluctant to come to theatres to watch smaller films, but if the content is good, films would work. Of late, the content from Tamil hasn't been great, says Telapan. Interestingly, all this hasn't affected theatres as much as you would expect due to the nostalgia-driven trend of re-releasing films. In fact, Vijay's Gilli has become one of the biggest grossers of the year 20 years after its release. Since January, the theory prevalent is that these new releases is a sign of a void. But once this phenomenon set in, did these new re-releases sort of affect the performance of new films at the box office? I mean, would you rather prefer to go to a familiar old movie than a new Tamil movie that has been getting mixed reviews? Yes, these re-releases might have helped a bit, but it's more like a something is better than nothing situation. These one or two successful re-releases or a handful of foreign language or Malayalam films aren't enough for theatres to survive. We need at least one good Tamil film every month to meet our recurring expenses and to fill occupancy, says Ruben Madhivanan, the owner of GK Cinemas in Chennai. In the first half of 2024, Tamil cinema has been doing quite considerably well in the long-form OTT space. While Thalamai Sayalagam has been getting a lot of positive responses from the audiences, Inspector Rishi is being called as the best Tamil title to have come out this year. Tamil producers have always been reluctant when it comes to direct-to-streaming projects, and their psyche hasn't changed. Manikantan says that neither producers nor creators or actors have gotten any clarity about the direct-to-streaming model. Yes, there are some restrictions when it comes to releasing a film in theatres, and so some films might work better on OTT. But there's a reluctance even with creators now. Maybe if a few films release on OTT and taste success, others would also follow, says Manikantan. PL Tenappan says that streaming platforms aren't giving projects to film producers like him, but are preferring directors turned producers who bring in their brand value. Except for escape artists Madan and Tyagaraja Kumaraja, not a lot of others tasted success on OTT. So if a series like Thalamai Sayalagam is working well, it's only because of its content, says Tenappan. Like we mentioned earlier, a lot of star vehicles are set to release in the later half of 2024. Kamal Haasan's Indian 2, Vijay's greatest of all time, Rajinikanth's Vettaiyan, Ajit Kumar's Vidamuyarchi, Surya's Kangua, Vikram's Thangalaan, Shivakarthikeyan's Amaran, Vetrimaran's Vidudhalai Part 2, Vijay Sethupathiy's Maharaja are just a handful of films which are slated to release later this year. So by the looks of it, 2022 seems to be one of those films with a poor first half and an adrenaline pump in second half. Let's just hope smaller films to manage to bring their films to theatre amidst all this glitz. For more such videos, subscribe to The Hindu.